Oh, that's Bruna. Getting Gisela. I think it's back. End step. Gisela is now Brisela. Today on Commander Replay, we check out Ognis The Dragons Lash and find out what happens when we borrow a Brisela. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. I got some new merch available. The official Commander Replay mug is now available in blue and colors beside blue. Welcome back everyone, playing some Ognis The Dragon Lash today. And today's deck list comes as voted on by Patreon supporters. Let's take a look at this opener. It's got a piece of ramp. I did copy this mana base over from a Windgrace deck, so we might see some oddities in the mana base. Don't worry about those. We don't have black mana. Kodama's Reach can find black mana. I think this hand's fine. There's like a lot of creatures in this deck, probably about 35, so I feel confident that we're going to draw into things that matter pretty quickly here. And if we don't, D-Manny said he's playing a Shuffle Wheels deck, so, oh yeah. We'll probably get some help off of that if we get stuck anyway, so yeah, this hand's fine. There's a Loyal Apprentice. Nice. Something to do. We'll start with this Colony Garden, make a plant, and pass like that. Let's take a look at our commander. So it's Ognis The Dragons Lash. 4 mana for a 3/3 with haste. Whenever a creature you control with haste attacks, create a tapped treasure token. Pretty cool little ability, incentivizes you to run a lot of haste cards. I've always thought haste is an underrated mechanic. I think people kind of understand how strong it is now, especially with like Lightning Greaves and stuff like that. Commanders with haste have historically been strong over the years. As games of Commander get faster and faster and you have less time to do things, haste has become a lot more impactful than it ever used to be because you need to get some sort of immediate impact out of your stuff, and haste allows you to do that. So anyway, brings it back to our turn. Opponent got a Talisman over there. Play the Taiga, play the Loyal Apprentice. Yep, we're going to swing into D-Manny. That Esper deck scares me. Scared of the Esper deck. And we'll pass like that. So while building this deck, I was a little bit torn about just jamming all of my favorite haste creatures in the deck. I still got a good number of them. I got like a lot of the ones that I wanted to play. But I did also include just a lot of the like good stuff options for Ognis. Things that care about making treasures or sacrificing treasures. A lot of that stuff's in here too. The one thing that's a little atypical, I'm running less ramp than usual because we do have ramp in the command zone. And I didn't really check my removal count. I know there's a few things in here, but the removal count could be a touch low for a higher power setting, but that's something I'll have to actually take a look at. So D-Manny's commander comes into play. That's Queza, Augury of Agonies. 4 mana for a 3/4. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Yeah, it's going to be a wheels deck. Not particularly excited about it, but yep. That being the case, let's play the Reflecting Pool. Play Kodama's Reach. Try to get as many things out of our hand as we can in case the wheels start. We have a lot of red and green, so I think I'm just going to get 2 swamps. 1 swamp into play. The other to hand. We'll poke the Sisay deck this time. But anyway, yeah, I assume this deck is just Esper Wheels and Control, which sounds pretty terrible. Another thing with our deck, too, is that I didn't include Torment of Hailfire, and, like, I think this deck does incentivize you to run cards like Torment of Hailfire, big X spells, essentially. Because if all goes well, you should be making a lot of extra mana each turn. So that's something that I would probably do. I went for Genesis Wave and Insurrection, personally. I don't care for Torment of Hailfire. Never have. But we got some other fun stuff, too, like Hellkite Igniter. Hellkite Overlord is another one. Yeah, these cards make me happy. So a few of these are just fun picks. In the Web of War is a card that you just don't see much of anymore. Ooh, I actually forgot to put Ogre Battle Driver. Same card, just on a creature instead of an enchantment. But, yeah, I always want to run in the Web of War, and it usually gets cut at the last second. Opponent draws on their turn. It's going to ping us for a life. Yep, it's not great. Here's a question. Why is this thing a 3/4? Ugh. One of the things that's been frustrating about the power creep that's been going on for the past couple years, like, the abilities have gotten stronger, no doubt. We all know that. That's easy to see. I think the one that doesn't get talked about as much is that the power and toughness has also gone up. Like, in years past, this thing would definitely be a 2/3. Esper ability creature for 4 mana, definitely smaller than 3/4. Like, as a 3/4, you know, a lightning bolt doesn't kill it. It's a pretty good blocker against a lot of things in combat. It's one of those things that's kind of been annoying me is that they keep, not only are they pushing the abilities to be really strong, but even just having higher than usual power and toughness makes it harder to attack into decks that you would have easily been able to do so in the past. What's Send Triplets? Is that like a 5-mana 3/3 or something like that? Correct, 5-mana 3/3. So use that as a basis for comparison. This is a 4-mana 3/4. They both have good abilities on them. They do different things, obviously, but just as a quick comparison. Anyway, brings it back to our turn. We've got a Mad Rush Cyclops. Cool card. I never get to run because I don't play Jund very often. So it'll be fun to get this in right here. Play the Swamp. Play the Mad Rush Cyclops. I want to get the Swamp out just in case we start getting wheeled. Otherwise, I normally would have gone for a tap land there, but here we are. Loyal Apprentice over to Zombie and this thing into the Sisay deck. Yeah, the 3/4 over there. I'd probably hit D-Manny again, but we just don't have a great attack going in that direction. That's another thing I gotta think about a little bit more too. Probably need like a Dolmen Gate or something in the deck, just to give you a little bit of that like combat advantage where you can attack with impunity. You could also put, oh, what's that card? Bedlam. You could put Bedlam in the deck. Funny card. Keeper of Progenitus for Zombie. Let's take a peek at what he's playing. He's playing Rocco Cabaretti Caterer. We played this one on the channel the other day. Don't know what he's built around. You can build around just about anything with this commander, which is pretty cool. When it ETBs, if you cast it, you may pay X. When you do, search your library for a creature value X or less and put it onto the battlefield. So if there's a non-legendary creature you want to build around, Rocco is your commander. If there's a legendary creature you want to build around and you're trying to get it some extra colors that it didn't have previously, Rocco is your commander. Definitely a very open commander that you can do a lot of things with. Opponent's going to tap their Sisay. Yeah, I've seen a few of these decks in the past. Goes for a Gaia Reach Sanitarium, just trying to get the mana. Yeah, love it. That is the thing that you can do. I've done it a few times. You're like, you know what? I really need that land drop. Let's go search for a legendary land. Well, that's happening faster than I had thought. Opponent said this is a Brisela Assembly required deck, and they now have one piece of said Brisela. And a Greater Good. Ugh. No love for that card. And this is Jack the Card Ripper, by the way, piloting Captain Sisay in the middle here, and it's a Brisela deck. And as we see, they're halfway to Brisela. Yep, D-Man is going to keep whacking us with the thing. He's up to 44. Not great. Gisela's a very good blocker against what we're trying to do. So, yeah, we're probably not going into Jack the Card Ripper for a little bit here. Thran Dynamo. Yeah, that's a lot of mana. I don't really want to blow up our creatures, but the Subterranean Tremors could be helpful to get rid of all of his artifact ramp. If something happens to our creatures, I'll probably think about that line of play. But I am worried that he's just going to wheel first, and then before we get the chance to do that. 3 visits is ramp. Let's play the Cinderglade, play the 3 visits. Whoa, is mana doubled? Oh, mana's doubled. Keeper of Progenitus, whenever a player taps a mountain, forest, or plains, double that mana. Alrighty. Well, this turn's probably going to be a little different than I had envisioned. Let's pay double green, get the 3 visits. We'll get Overgrown Tomb. Let's cycle this thing. Oh, another land. Wow, brutal. Then let's cast our commander. We need lots of red, is what we need. Now we need 2 green. Let's go to combat. We'll make a token. This into D-Manny, that into D-Manny, this into Zombie. No good attacks for the other ones. Yeah, we make 3 treasure tokens. They will be tapped, which is a little awkward, but could Savage... I don't think Savage Beating isn't worth it yet. We need, like, one more big creature, and I think to really make the Savage Beating worth it. If we can catch said big creature off the top, then next turn, he's going to block. Yep. Opponents take just a teeny bit of damage, and we'll pass like that. Zombie doesn't have white mana yet. That's awkward. Does have this Castle Garenbrig, though. He can cast a pretty big creature. Ooh, Ritzgrove. Grove. Okay, that'll get him to white mana. Not a huge fan of the lair cycle, but, you know, he needs the color fixing right now, so I get it. Adds the white, and it's doubled. What are we getting with Rocco? Rocco coming in. Somehow he spent more... No, he already spent the X. Okay, I didn't see what he spent, but he spent quite a bit into X. It is Rien, Angel of Rebirth. Interesting. Very interesting. And Huatli's Sun's Heart. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Essentially Door in the Siege Tower. You gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. He now also has blockers, and that's kind of a problem for us. Totally need to put Bedlam in this deck. Everyone's got some stuff going. Opponent's going to sacrifice their Gisela to draw and discard. Yep, not a bad idea if your next play is just getting Gisela. And, oh, got a Dawnbreak Reclaimer into the graveyard. Also very good. Also very good. Now, there's a bit of awkwardness with timing with that. If you try to get Gisela back at the end step with Dawnbreak Reclaimer, you'll miss the at the beginning of your end step trigger with Gisela, so you have to wait an entire turn. So do you get greedy and go for the value, or do you just try to get your big thing into play and, make everyone have to deal with a Brisela? I am thinking that this deck is going to need a few pump effects in it, maybe like a Bortusk Liege, something like that, just to get these creatures a little bigger. I am noticing just like how small we're looking against everything on the board. Oh, there's that Bruna. Getting back the Gisela. I think we know what's coming. We'll see if the Esper deck has anything to say about it. We don't. But I am happy that we do have these Thopters. Can't block yet, but next turn, in theory, we should be able to block with a Thopter and not get blasted with Brisela. Always a good thing. Oh, yep, no, D-Manny's got something. Anguished Unmaking. Whoa. They can... Oh, they let it go to exile. They needed to sacrifice it. Ouch. Glad that Anguished Unmaking didn't get used on us. We were coming out a little bit aggressive, but we've kind of lost steam as people have gotten bigger than us on the board. Are there any other good anthems in Jund? I don't know the Jund card pool that well. Ogre Battle Driver is one that definitely needs to go in. Sort of an anthem. Doesn't help your toughness at all, but... that's a Dark Petition. Don't like where that's going. I guess that's probably just a wheel. He's down to one card. Although, I guess if it's like one card in our set, that's a thing. Though, if that's the case, then there's a greater good over here. You just convince the Sisay player to kill the Esper player, and then we'll have to fend for ourselves, which isn't great. But peer into the abyss. Oh, that's what we're doing. Yep, that's a lot of triggers. I bet he kills us first. Wouldn't be surprised if the game crashed before he can put all 50 triggers on the stack. It was like roughly 50. It was about 40, I guess. Finally gets all the triggers on the stack. He spread it around, so I think we're all going to survive, and I think that's one of those, like, for the camera moments of it's not particularly interesting to just, like, hit your combo on turn 6, make a non-game of it. We're at 22, Zombies at 20, Jack's at 23, D-Manny's up to 62, 43 cards in hand. Let's see if he caught a no-max hand size card. Otherwise, he's going to be discarding a lot. Although, if he is Shuffle Wheels .deck, then it doesn't really matter that much, even if he doesn't. Felwar Stone. 3 mana, exactly enough for a wheel. Mind Stone, yeah, just clearing out all the ramp. This is a time where I want that Subterranean Tremors to be a Vandal Blast. This thing, I don't get to run this thing very often because I always play Boros and you're super reliant on your artifacts, but this card is so nasty at blowing away early value from artifact ramp and small creatures. So if you can slow roll it a bit, it does a lot. Blind Obedience is bad for haste creatures. Like, really bad for haste creatures. Because one thing I was thinking was like, all right, well, if we catch a big creature off the top, it'll have haste, and then we could potentially Savage Beating, and, like, that gets something done. But that's kind of offline now. He does have to discard 1 million. Didn't wheel. Didn't get the help we were looking for, because we have flooded. Like, no doubt, we have flooded. Oh, I've got an idea. Yeah, I think I know what we'll do next turn. So, we're going to attack. They will probably block, and when that happens... damage will get put on it. We can Subterranean... No, because we still have to go X's 4 or more. I was hoping we could, like, save a few of our things, but if I want to blow up all the artifacts, which I do, yeah, we're just not going to be able to do that. Insurrection would be a pretty funny card. I don't actually know that it's lethal. Oh, Cultivate? Really? I guess that's just how this game's going to go. I think we probably just have to attack and Subterranean Tremors, because I don't think we survive his next turn. He has a perfectly sculpted 7. Yep, just send them all. Actually, I mean, we get Savage Beating. That'll get some things done. Yeah, I think we're just going to empty the hand out this turn. We make a bunch of treasures. Sadly, they will probably get blown away, though. Unless... we can blow their commander up with the Savage Beating. Oh, nice. He's going to block the 2-1. Savage Beating time. Spend our treasure mana. His commander goes down. That's a big thing. We go back to combat. Let's see how much damage this actually gets done, because... if we do enough, I don't think we will, but if we did enough, in theory, our opponents could finish him. But we have 10 treasures. That's a lot. They're all tapped, but he goes down to 31 and 12 commander. Yeah, I just don't think that's good enough. 31, that's 10 damage right there. That's 6. Yeah, I don't like this play at all, but what are our choices? Lose to the combo deck? If we let them have all their mana? Play Mountain Forest. Mountain into play. Subterranean Tremors. X4. Don't love it. Ooh, that's a pretty good interaction. So, Rocco goes to the graveyard, triggering Rien. And he can easily get that back to his hand and just recast it. But we do blow up all the artifacts. But at great cost to ourself. Also, the Gisela's still alive, so opponents can get some stuff done in the air still, thankfully. But we just blew away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana rocks, one of which is a Thran Dynamo. So that means that opponent was producing an extra 7 mana every turn. So, you know, nothing good is coming out of that happening. Like, they could have easily recast their commander and still just went to town with stuff. Zombie's gonna bring Rocco back to play and gets himself a Horned Kavu. When it enters the battlefield, return a red or green creature, being their commander, back to the hand. Interesting. And opponent's gonna gain some life. Life gain pretty decent after everyone getting blasted by the thing. Zombie goes no attacks. That is super annoying. Super, super annoying. There is clearly a combo deck who tutored, then showed half the combo, then drew 40, and now has a perfect 7. At least attack. Opponent's going to sacrifice the Gisela to the greater good, looking for some answers, probably. Traverse the Uvenwald. Well, looks like they have Delirium. Yep, 5 card types. They get a Rift Sweeper. Nice. They can get their Bruna back. Hedron Archive. Comes in tapped. Ouch. Hedron Archive is a lot less good when it comes in tapped. It's an even worse Worn Power Stone. A card that I used to run all the time and like really don't anymore. On turn 3, Worn Power Stone is fine. Worn Power Stone is really bad in the face of a Cyclonic Rift. When you're trying to rebuild, that coming in tapped is so rough. Much easier to recast the Hedron Archive. Plus, you get the draw 2 cards ability if you need it. Marauding Blight Pest. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses a life. Don't love that. Extort. He said he discarded all of his wheels. That's actually not great for us because we could use some help in the card draw department. We're coming up thin. Oh my god, really? Really? Play the fetch, crack the fetch, Stomping Ground, tapped, cast our commander. Comes in tapped, pass like that. Rocco coming back to play, X3. What does he get? I would actually like to see Brisela get assembled, 1, because it's interesting, but 2, it shuts off a good number of wheels, and probably a lot of the, like, annoying, efficient stuff this Esper deck is trying to do. Your low-costed tutors and things like that. Mana rocks, which they seem to have a lot of. Gets a Fabro Welder, yeah, that's a good piece of ramp. Zombie attacks with 1. Doesn't go anywhere with his Rien. Still annoying. Does send it over to D-Manny. Is going to resculpt, exile this thing, and make a 4/4. And they extort, and then each opponent will lose 1 life after that. Yep, that's not great. That is not great. Karmic Guide. Oh, here comes the Daisy Chain. Here comes the Daisy Chain. Getting back Captain Sisay. Oh, nope, not going for the Daisy Chain. I would have. I guess they're trying to set up for the Bruna. Also makes sense. There's the Rift Sweeper. Okay, yep, I see what they're doing. Gonna put Gisela back into the deck. Yep. Time of need. Go search for Gisela. Probably don't have a way to get it in, though. Or I keep saying Gisela. It's Bruna. It's Bruna. They do search for it. It's in their hand. Kind of risky. I mean, I guess if it gets wheeled, then, like... If it's a shuffle wheel, they can still just get it out of the deck with Sisay, but if it's a non-shuffle wheel, then... Might not be the best to go for Time of Need right there. Especially with your Sisay back in play. I think this deck needs a Skull Clamp, just for, you know, when creatures die, which they will. I'm running less ramp than usual, about 9 pieces. Usually I run about 13. And we've just drawn all of it. Cultivate, 3 visits, Kodama's Reach, and a crap ton of lands. Diminishing returns, oh boy, yep, here we go. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library. You exile the top 10 cards of your library, then each player draws up to 7 cards. Opponent gets to extort with that, so they're just looking for a new hand. They built their hand wrong, I think, when drawing 40, which is an easy thing to do. When you draw that many cards, it's just overwhelming to be able to manage that, so we'll draw 7. Beast Within is a card that I want to see. Molten Primordial is also solid. Cyclops, Reckless Fireweaver, and Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness not helpful in this current state, but maybe eventually. Oh, we could do something dirty. We could find a legendary... We could steal the Sisay and then tap it to go get a legendary creature. That legendary creature... Let's find out what it is. We have 2 Urabrasks in the deck, which are both fun. Grand Warlord Ratha would make us a bunch of mana, in theory. Soul Guide Lantern for opponent. Marog is in the deck. Think about getting that one. Ooh, Riveteer's Charm. What does this do, exactly? Target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they control with the highest value. Exile top 3 cards of your library until your turn you may cast. Exile target player's graveyard. I think we want to get this thing out of play, is what we want to do. So let's play this mountain, play the Charm, force D-Manny to sacrifice. Marauding Blight Priest goes down. We have 8 mana left. We could go 3, 5, plus 4 is 9. What did I say? 8 mana? We should get all of our cheap cards out of our hand because Brisela's probably about to come into play. Yeah, we'll get all the cheap cards out then. Reckless Fireweaver. Oh, it comes in tapped. I messed that up. Beast Within, the Blind Obedience, and Sylvan Library, since we probably won't be able to cast it next turn. Swing this thing into D-Manny. Does have a 3/3. That's actually pretty annoying. Reckless Fireweaver will ding everyone. Yeah, he does block. I should have paid more attention to that. Whoops. I'm not convinced we're going to win this game anyway. Thought about leaving it there for the Eternal Witness, but if we can't cast the Eternal Witness, that's really bad. Also, if opponent assembles Brisela, Molten Primordial is really good for borrowing that for a turn also. Ooh, this is General Ferris Rokiric. Nice. So it looks like he's got like a multicolor theme going on over there. A lot of like nice value pieces for Rocco and stuff. Iron Root Warlord. Power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control. Or its power is, rather. And it makes tokens. Gavany Township, gonna pump the team. 2 attacks over to D-Manny. This will be a shot for 12. Opponent's going to sacrifice their Karmic Guide at the end step to the greater good. Kind of awkward with the draw and discard, but since you're going to lose it anyway, I get what they're doing. Because you got to discard 3, so you're actually going to have 1 less card than you did before, but you get to look at more cards. And I guess in this case, they're probably just trying to load up their graveyard. Also, discards Magus of the Disc and Oswald Fiddlebender. Would love to not see the Magus of the Disc come into play. It'll just make this game really long. We actually don't have a great answer for Zombie's board state. He just has a lot of creatures out there. And, if Brisela comes into play, we can Molten Primordial and get a bunch of damage in the air. But, D-Manny's still kind of the threat. There's a Cultivate for opponent. That's an Angel of Serenity. Well, that might answer some of Zombie stuff. Unless opponent wants to get their own things back and then sacrifice, which is a thing they can do. They could target 3 creatures in their graveyard, and then once the trigger's resolved, sacrifice it to greater good, and then they'll get those things immediately to hand. Is pretty good. I was hoping he was going to lay down the Brisela this turn, but decides not to go with it. Goes for 2 of Zombie's things, gets the Rien, gets the token. That won't come back, and also gets the Karmic Guide. Yep, makes sense. They're going to crack the Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card. They did exile their Rift in the diminishing returns. Fight Rexine Arena. Nothing else too... I guess Elhamrat's Archive is pretty good. Nothing else too crazy, though. Queza coming back to play. Yep, brings it... Ooh, that's interesting. This can gain us some life, too, which is kind of a thing. Sylvan Library. We only have 1 treasure up currently, though. Use the ability. Subterranean Tremors is back. Oh, what does that actually kill? I don't know that is really the right call here. Beast Whisperer is a card. The question is how much time do we have? And, I don't know that we have that much. I think I'm actually going to put the Nightblade back on top. Just because it doesn't look great with only 1 treasure. I mean, are we back on Subterranean Tremors? He doesn't really have any artifacts. I mean, we blow away Zombie's board. I think we're going to put that back on top. We'll go for the Beast Whisperer play, I think. Or, let's check our mana. We have 12 mana. This would cost 7. We'd have 5 left. We're short of the Morog play. So I don't think we're going to do that yet. So let's get Beast Whisperer. Oh, you know what we can do? We can Eternal Witness to get the Beast Within, and that would solve a lot of problems, I think. That's probably actually a really good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Eternal Witness, draw a card, get back the Beast Within, use the ability. And we'll just leave the 3 up so we don't die to the Wheels deck. No real good attacks, so we're going to pass. Ooh, Beast Within is bad against Brisela. D-Man is sitting on mana, though. I wonder if he's holding up interaction for that. Because he kind of has to be if he has it, just because, that's so devastating to his deck. Huatley's Raptor enters the battlefield, proliferate. Okay. Got a little bit of a counter theme going. Gets a 4/4 off of the Ferris Rokiric. Proliferates his team. I think he missed the Planeswalker, though. Yeah, he's got some creatures. Godsire. That's a card. Makes another 4/4. Big shot into D-Man. Love it. Love it. Faithful Mending. You gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, and discard 2 cards. And their commander's in play, so they're going to do more life gain, life loss stuff with that. Yep, going to ping him. Oh, he's going to block with his commander. He's trying to soak up damage. Oh, wait. They all have Doran on them. No, yeah, the commander will stay alive. Because he's got his Doran effect in play. Yeah, so it survives. He goes down to 17. I think he actually lost a bit of damage there. He has lopsided power and toughness. Yeah, a 10-7 and a 5-3. And I think this was also a 5-3. So losing a little bit of damage right there, which isn't the best. If he had attacked with Rien both times, D-Manny would be at 7 right now. Opponent is going to sacrifice their Angel of Serenity at the end step. I think they also activated their Sisay. Gisela was revealed recently as the last card. I think we're about to see it. I wonder if D-Manny's sitting on Swords or Path over there. He's got 1 white mana up. Activate the Sisay. Yep. Getting Bruna. I believe he has both in hand. Mana Crypt. Here comes Bruna. There's the cast trigger. What are we going to bring back? Bringing back the Karmic Guide. Yep. Do we then get the Dawnbreak Reclaimer? Oh, wait, did that get shuffled? I think it got shuffled. No, that probably has to get the Gisela, which appears to be in his graveyard. Karmic Guide, bring back Gisela. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Swiftfoot Boots. Ha ha. Yeah. Oh, crap. That'll probably make it so we can't steal the thing. Oh. Actually, it leaves play as part of the text and then comes back to play. So I don't think they'll be able to get the boots on it during our turn. Boots on the Karmic Guide. That's interesting. You at least put it on this because it's still a 5/7 with Vigilance, so you can get a pretty good attack in with that. There's a Codex Shredder. Interesting card. End step trigger. Oh, D-Many passed. So here's the predicament. I'll outline it. We could shoot either half of this Brisela right now to stop it from happening. The thing that I fear is that D-Many untaps and just wins. So this is one of those, like, pick what you want to lose to type moments. I'd much rather lose to the Brisela than the Esper combo deck, so I'm going to shoot D-Many's commander. Also, we have the Molten Primordial, which is, like, something against the Brisela. And if we get lucky, like, if we get really lucky, we might be able to sneak an attack in there somehow, but Brisela is in play. Got a 9/10 flying first strike vigilance lifelink. That's also some life we can gain with the Primordial. D-Many has a board wipe. He definitely has to play it. Echo of Eons. Okay. Yep. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard, then draws 7 cards. Gonna lose the Molten Primordial, which I don't love. That was part of the plan here. We do have a bunch of dragons in the deck, although our dragons are smaller than a 9/10 first striker. Swords on the Godsire. The life gain a little bit relevant in this case. This is cast with flashback. There's a Damnation. I mean, that gives us the opportunity to clean up the board. The question is, Subterranean Tremors is back. 3rd time this game. Yeah, I mean, we probably have to Damnation, right? I'd actually prefer that D-Many does it for us. That way we can spend the mana rebuilding. It's a Drog Skull Reaver. That's a card. Flying double strike lifelink. Whenever you gain life, draw a card. Wow, it seems really good in that deck. I am looking for a land with the Sylvan Library right here. 7 cards. We actually didn't draw one. I mean, I guess that's because we flooded early and ramped a lot. There's one off the top. Sylvan Library's ability, yes. Goldspan Dragon, Revel in Riches. Oh, that's spicy. Do we have any life gain in hand? No, we don't. Revel in Riches back on top. I think we're going to pay 4 life to keep 1 extra. I think someone has a Cradle in play or something. I hope so anyway, otherwise we won't be able to get mana out of this thing. Play the Bloodstained Mire, because I do want to draw that. Start with the Damnation. Board gets wiped, cleaning out all those problems. And then we start marching. Then we start lining up some haste creatures, I think. Let's get the Goldspan Dragon. Almost messed this up. Is this tap for mana? No, we do have to sacrifice it. What was on top? Revel in Riches? I think we're going to have to shuffle it. No, this makes 2. We can get 2 off this. Okay. Yeah, get double green. We now have 2 haste creatures. Love it. Go to combat. Yeah, we'll just keep working on the Esper deck. I do know that Jack's deck can rebuild. Having played Angels a bunch, I know exactly how that deck rebuilds, and, it's a concern. It's definitely a concern. We have the Beast Within back, though. We get Grand Warlord Ratha and the Goldspan Dragon trigger. We can add red or green. We'll add red. I guess we can get the Lannery Storm. Actually, no. I think we can get Corvald. That's a thing. There's the treasure. No, we'd have to crack for the Corvald. What does this one do? Enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield, an additional counter on them if treasure mana was spent. Interesting. We hit for 7. He's down to 9. We'll give up on Revel in Riches. I don't love it, but Corvald is really good. Do think we need... Yeah, I think we need some black in there, so we'll get the Badlands. Cast Corvald. Sacrifice a treasure. We'll have to sacrifice a land. Sacrifice a mountain. Draw a card. Ooh, Hellrider is a card we want. We have a couple haste creatures, so if our board sticks, cast Hellrider, cast our commander, cast Lannery Storm, do some attacking, try to get some people out of the game. Yasharn is really bad for our treasures. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or abilities. Also shuts down Corvald. That might be worth the Beast Within. If nothing else comes up over the turn here, that might be worth the Beast Within. I always wanted to build Grand Warlord Ratha the deck. Just never got around to it. Don't play a ton of Gruul, but pretty cool commander. Does get out of hand. I mean, it's mana in the command zone. Mana in the command zone is usually a problem. There's a Samut. Creatures they control have haste. We're at 10. We should be a little scared. Yep. coming our way. We throw in Corvald under the bus here. 4-4 into Jack the Ripper. Do we want to go to 4? Not really against D-Manny's deck. I think Corvald's going under the bus. I guess they'll trade. It's not a bus in the strictest sense. They both go down. I understand what he's doing there. He's trying to pressure us. I actually think that's a pretty decent play out of him because D-Manny's in a really bad spot now. We've been just on him all game. We've kept him off balance, so he needs to do a lot to rebuild, where we actually rebuilt really well after the board wipe. And with haste creatures, like, you get things going right away, which is really, really good. Oh, that's Bruna. Getting Gisela. I think it's back. Beast Within is offline. Captain Lannery's... Ooh, that shuts off a lot of cards in our hand, is what that does. We are not as prepared for the Brisela this time around. Boots onto the Gisela. Swings over to Zombie. Yeah, Zombie's at 22. Looks very healthy compared to the rest of us. Well, they'll get themselves 4 life back right there. That is relevant because I was thinking about like Hellrider plays and stuff like that, but I guess the lifelink on Brisela is going to be an issue. Lifecrafter's Bestiary and Evolutionary Leap. All the sack outlets. They made someone mill a card. I didn't see who. End step! Gisela is now Brisela. This is actually the longest I've seen a game go on with Brisela having shown up in play, right? Like, usually if it shows up in play, the game just kind of ends because it's giant and people can't cast half the stuff in their deck. You don't usually get, like, long, drawn-out games after Brisela, but our board wipe bought us some time. We'll need to figure out another way around it. Maybe D-Manny's got something, being the Esper deck and all, but a lot of cards in our hand are shut off, which is not great. Recasting his commander. Wow. Pays all but 1 of his mana to recast the commander. Can't do anything with 1, so... Yep, he's going to tap and pass. We're going to need a big draw. Shelter Thicket is not that big draw. Use the library. Zealous Conscripts, on the other hand, is a magic card. Yeah, put these back. Put on top. Put on top. How many blockers do they have? That's 9, that's 4, that's 13. Yeah, that's the plan there. And then maybe we can Hellrider over to D-Manny. Get him for a few. I was hoping something like this would happen. Oh, I know what we can do. We could Beast Within the Brisela. That's a cool play. All right, here we go. Zealous Conscripts. Borrow this Brisela. We now have a Brisela. Love it. What do we got left for mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 mana left. Oh, yeah, because the Grand Lord Ratha will make us a bunch of mana. So let's get this Hellrider in. Let's go to combat. This one to D-Manny, because the math is nice and easy. And then these ones over to Jack the Card Ripper. Don't know if this will kill them or not. That'll trigger Hellrider a bunch of times and the Grand Warlord Ratha. Also the Goldspan Dragon. Yasharn's still in play, so we can't use our treasure mana. Told opponent, sweet Brisela. Can I borrow it? We get 5 mana off the Ratha, which is a great place to be. Because I'd absolutely take it for a spin. I'll tell you what, even when you're not running the combo, Zealous Conscripts can lead to some fun moments. Stealing any permanent is pretty sweet. I definitely stole an Ugin once and then ulted it. D-Manny goes down to first strike damage. We gain 9 life, go up to 19, which makes me feel a little bit better. Jack the Ripper goes down, -5. Nice, we did have enough damage. Then we go to the second main, and we've got some mana floating. So let's get our commander back for 8 mana. Pretty rough. Looks like... Oh, we can't sack the treasure. Doesn't look like we can afford to get our commander back. Rough. What we can do is get this thing. Get the Kalane. Make a treasure token. Can't do anything with. Do we Beast Within yet? We'll get the Captain... Yeah, we'll get the Captain Lannery Stone. Oh, he's got 7 cards in hand. You know what? I'm just going to Beast Within the Yasharn. We're already, like, very overcommitted into a board wipe, so we'll leave the Lannery Storm back. We have a little bit of mana floating. I think we'll just pass like that. Zombie taps up a bunch of mana. Rocco coming to play X6. A lot of good cards at 6. Let's see what he's getting. D-Manny said he had Debt to the Deathless all game and was 2 mana short of killing everyone. Bummer. He would have gained a lot of life, though. He's going to send a 3/3 our way. Yeah, we're just going to take that. What did he get? He got... Ooh, Megalanoth. Nice. I used to love this card. It's hard to, like, play in decks. You just don't get to play it in a lot of places, but it is a sweet card. Vigilance Trample. When it blocks a creature, it deals damage to that creature's controller equal to Megalanoth's power. Oh, God. Yeah, that's not great, actually. We're going to have to figure some things out here. Sylvan Library. Use the ability. Come on, something good. Nope, those aren't it. I guess Rampant Growth gets us a shuffle. I'm thinking like Rampant Growth cycle the land. That's what I think we want to do. Put Arid Mesa back on top and pay 4 life for that one. Ugh. Down to 12. Can't we just kill him with an all-out attack? Should probably think about that. Megalanoth deals damage to that creature's controller equal to its power, so we'll take a shot for 6. But we're at 12. So the question is if we can just kill him all at once. He'll block our 2 biggest ones, which are not all that big, but we would lose 2 3/3s. We would be able to get through for 4, 7, 8, 10. And how many creatures is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're up to 16. And then if we crack some treasures with Lannery Storm, I think we can get there. Yeah, I think we've got a plan. Okay, sacrifice this treasure token, make some red, make double red. Let's get Lannery Storm. It comes in with a +1/+1 counter because of the Kalane ability. Let's get our commander. Also comes in with a +1/+1 counter. And then we'll go to combat. Send it all. Bunch of triggers. We'll get 2 treasure tokens. That should be enough damage with the Lannery Storm. Ognis makes a bunch of treasures. And a bunch of Hellrider triggers. He's down to 11 off the triggers. We're going to add a bunch of red and green. It's going to block our commander. Yep. It's going to block the Radha. Megalanoth will trigger. Just to make sure we have enough, we're going to crack the treasures. And we'll cycle this Sheltered Thicket. It's an Arid Mesa. Oh, right, we forgot to shuffle. Whoops. This should be enough, though. Got 6 power on the Lannery Storm now. We go down to 6 off the Megalanoth. We lose some mana. That's fine. Down he goes! -6! Wow, I can't believe we won that game. I was totally expecting to lose after the Peer into the Abyss. D-Manny was not cooperative with the timing of the wheels. We needed a little help with the wheel draw earlier than we got it. So that kind of messed us up. Flooded super hard at the beginning of the game. Wasn't until that later wheel when we caught 7 cards of no lands that we finally had some stuff going on. But lots of cool plays with Brisela this game. That was some really interesting stuff. That was a really fun play. Especially just borrowing it with the Zealous Conscripts. Opponent could have sacked it in response. Either they weren't paying attention or they just wanted to see where it was going to go. Either way, still a pretty cool play. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in William Johnson. William, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, or get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon, the link below.